Chintani, and welcome to another episode of the Godfather Minute. It's my name is Alex Robinson,
and I'm Andy Robinson,
and today we are here to mourn the death of the Godfather. We're talking about minute 153 of the Godfather today.
That's right, Alex. Repeat after me. E minuto. Numero. 153.
53.
You got it.
53. Minuto numero 53. That's minute 153.
That's right.
Of The Godfather. And here's what happens. The date is July 29th, 1955. The place, a tomato garden in Long Beach, New York. It's the late morning, and a small boy named Anthony is playing with his grandfather, Don. The old man has turned an orange peel inside out and put it in his mouth, making his already intimidating visage downright grotesque. Once he understands it's a game, Anthony commits to chasing the monster around with his pesticide sprayer. The boy's enthusiasm reminds Don of his own firstborn, Santino, with his reckless zeal for life. But it also reminds him of his own childhood, cut sadly short like so many Sicilians then and now. He can barely recall his own father, Antonio Andolini. What would he think of this life his boy carved out for himself in the new world? He remembers his life in New York's Lower East Side, the good old days, as they say in this strange new world. Sally, Fat Clemenza, Genko, Luca Brazzi, all carving out a life for themselves and their young families. He remembers the pathetic look on that Pezzo Vazante Finucci's face. Imagine your last act on earth being checking if a light bulb works. Finucci asked Don a question, but the young man's heart was pounding so loud he couldn't or wouldn't hear him. He would become inured to murder to some extent, but his heart always freaked out, like the last embers of the innocent boy Vito Andolini, deep inside of him, always afraid, heart pounding. Vito felt his left arm brush up against one of the thorns on his tomato plants. By the time he recalled that sweet tomato plants don't have any thorns, the shooting pain told him it was something else. He would have Carmela talk with Dr. Taza about it when he got back to town. He couldn't wait to taste the dinner he could smell his mother and Nona already cooking. His father would pick him up, and as Vito put his face against his father's broad shoulders, he could smell the sweat mixed with the aroma of olive oil, and he was home. The end.
Well said. Beautiful.
That's it.
That's great.
And then Anthony runs home, runs inside. So anything else for the minute?
So you're saying he reflected on all that in that last moment.
Yeah, it's like his life was flashing before his eyes.
And that was the flash.
Yeah, that was he didn't realize that was the flash going before his eyes as he took a trip down memory lane.
It's really interesting. It makes you wonder. We all, every now and then, think of the past and think of certain memories. I wonder if when you are in the process of dying, that starts to happen, but it feels like you're just remembering like any other time when you're not dying and just having a memory.
Right. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's what I always picture it being like. I don't know how people know your life flashes before your eyes when you die.
Yeah.
Because it seems like anyone who did it, well, I guess all those people have near-death experiences.
Yeah,
do they see their life flash before their eyes?
Who?
Or do people who have near-death experiences see their life flash before their eyes?
I'm assuming that's where that
Or is it just your near life that flashes before your eyes, since it's only a near-death experience?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think happens when you die?
Oh, my gosh. Whoa. You're kind of putting me on the spot. I haven't thought too much about it. I'm really trying to focus.
Dude, you're not getting any younger, so I suggest you start thinking about it.
I mean, I'm trying to focus on the moment, on the present. I really am. Because what did John Lennon say?
Imagine.
No, about making plans and living in the future.
Give peace a chance.
No, it was we can work it out. We can work it out.
All right, Broadway song.
Yeah, so I don't know, and I'm not thinking too much about it because I want to live in the present. I want to enjoy every moment. And speaking of which, I don't mean to get too philosophical here, but I've really been trying to focus on listening to you more while we record.
Real what?
Well, because in any we were talking about this in any exchange, what happens is for a lot of the time you're not really listening. You're preparing something else to say.
Damn.
Yeah, and I'm talking about you.
That's so funny because I think that I was spending a lot more time listening to you this episode. I was trying to really focus on listening.
Oh, really? Even though you've done most of the talking?
Yeah, well, but then it's
easy to say you're a good listener when you give a 5-minute monologue at the beginning of the minute, Alex.
I'm listening to myself talk.
Yeah, a whole lot of listening.
But that's funny though, because I really was making an effort to listen to you in this episode.
Oh, good. Well, I do have a question for you, Alex, and I'm glad you raised the bar or lowered their bar as far as talking about death and afterlife and this morbid after death and before afterlife. So
shouldn't it be called an after death experience?
Yeah. No, it's during death.
Oh, that's true. It's not after death.
Yeah.
It's death.
It's during death.
Yeah.
Unless you consider death the moment. But anyway,
what's your question?
Our listeners want to know, who is the real Alex Robinson?
Who is the real Alex Robinson?
So, Alex,
if they don't know me by now,
if you could choose how to die, but these are your only options. Okay. One is you could choose to die like the Don does in this minute, which is he's chasing his grandson around. It seems somewhat pleasant. He's laughing. He's in the sun. He's in his tomato garden.
Am I the same age as the Don?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you die of a heart attack. Mm-hmm. That's the first choice. Choice B is wild card. So you die how you will really die in this lifetime.
So
which means you don't know how it's going to be.
I either have to be killed by my grandson with pesticides in a tomato garden or take my chances.
Yes. In other words, was his death pleasant enough? Is it more pleasant than 50% of the ways to die?
So are you assuming in this case, do I have to get shot by the Turk and then have to
No. Just the death.
Literally
scene.
Just the death. Yeah, I think that's a great death.
Yeah. So you choose that.
Yeah, I would.
Okay. How old is he, Alex?
He's like, it depends.
He's like 52, so you ain't got much more time, consigliere.
Bad choice of words. I figure I'll be done before the end of the month. Well, I think it depends because I think he's in his late 60s. Mm-hmm. Because he was born, it depends. There's 2 different years given for his birth date, unfortunately.
Oh, that's right.
So we're not quite sure exactly when. If you split the difference, he would be in his late 60s. So.
And only the Japanese knew his true birthday. That's why
true.
they bombed Pearl Harbor on that day.
Because Fredo's the one who told him it was his birthday.
No, Fredo doesn't know those guys.
Yeah. So I'll
You'll pick it.
Yeah.
So you'll pick to die in your 60s, but a pleasant death, rather than take your chances, live a little longer.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I say that now. I'm in my early 50s, but yeah.
So it turns out Sollozzo was right, but he was way ahead of his time. The Don is dead, and there's nothing you can do to bring him back.
Oh, I thought you meant the Don was slipping because he was falling on the ground.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah, whoa. He really was a fortune teller. He wrote for the horoscope.com.
He's the one he works for the newspapers, right?
Yeah. That'd be great if the Turk was the Corleone's man on their newspaper payroll.
pretty good with a typewriter.
Yeah. He did 2 terms at the Daily News. One in Italy, one here.
The Don sounds very raspy, like he's been smoking a lot. We never see the Don smoke.
No.
But like everyone smoked back then.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder.
Yeah.
Do we even see him smoke even as a young man? We'll have to keep our eye open for that.
Yeah. Don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the doctor might have told him, stop smoking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen to your voice, man. Stop smoking.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking, you were reminding me of a scene, but it was Hyman Roth in Godfather 2. It says, well, the doctors say to do this, but what do they know? Quit smoking. So the Don dies in this episode, Alex. This is a real milestone.
Farewell to Brando.
So now is Michael officially the Don? Because Don Vito is dead?
I wonder. I don't know what the rules are. Does he have to be sworn in? Is he already sworn in? Because, the vice president has to be sworn in to become the president. So I don't know if there has to be some kind of formal ceremony.
Who becomes the president if the vice president isn't available?
I think the Speaker of the House.
Oh, Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know nowadays that's why they're saying during the impeachment they were saying, oh my gosh, if this ends up with President Pelosi, that would be the crowning irony if it totally, their most hated enemy.
Yeah.
Do you think this traumatized poor little Anthony? Like he's literally, like, as far as he knows, he literally kills his grandfather before his very eyes.
Did you notice that when the Don falls and is, I think, dead, Anthony shoots him one more time with the pesticide?
Oh, in the face, so they can't have an open casket too.
I don't want his mother to be able to see him like this.
They should have done it like that shot of Cheech where Cheech is in the with the revolving door.
Oh yeah,
where you'd see it from the Don's point of view, and you'd see the screen getting all covered in pesticide, and you just see Anthony's eye being the last thing,
all distorted through the pesticide liquid.
Yeah,
that's great.
You're spilling it. Those were his last words.
They may have been his actual last words, right? Or wasn't it? This is a new trick.
Yeah, a new trick.
Oh, those were his last words. You're spilling it. You're spilling it. Anthony is such a good boy. I'm about to say, you're spilling it.
Clean it up. Yeah, I guess he does have a couple of other last words which are just like, oh, come on, just kind of like grunts and laughing and stuff. But so his actually last clear words were, you're spilling.
You're spilling it.
Or is that before it's a new trick?
I think it is before.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's fun to say.
Yeah. Do you ever think, speaking with the topic of, if you had to pick your last words right now, what would you want your last words to be?
Man, this is heavy.
Hey, if there's going to be a gloomy, death-focused minute, it's this one.
I would want my last words to be...
You're spilling it.
No, go to godfatherminute.com.
Wow.
No, they would be...
Right before you jumped off the building.
Yeah. No, I would do it while I was falling. What did he say? What did he say?
The Doppler effect. People would not be able to understand what you were saying.
.com. No, it would get louder because people would be on the ground.
Well, yeah, it depends on where they were relative to you.
They were in the middle, on the middle floors of the skyscraper. No, I think I'd want my last words to be something like, I will haunt you.
Ooh. I want my last words to be, the treasure is buried.
Where is it? Pop. Where is it? I'm smacking you.
Yeah, I definitely want to end it on
Alex.
Definitely want to end it on a cliffhanger.
Yeah. What? Let's see. There's some other good ones. Like, Alex. So you're holding me while I'm dying, Alex.
The only way I'm going to holding you when you die is my hands around your neck.
Alex. I would say I would say it in this voice too. Alex, keep your friends close and your enemies Eat your enemies.
Where, Pop? Where do I keep my enemies? You all right? Papa! That's what Anthony should have done. GrandPAPA!
Maybe he did, because we just couldn't understand him.
So, the Don falls down, breaks some of his tomato plants.
Mm-hmm. It's a touching scene. It's a touching end.
Scene. Yeah.
Well, I've got some stuff in the book, Alex.
You can understand why actors must like doing death scenes, because I guess it's inherently dramatic.
Yeah.
And we all, despite what you say, we all think about death all the time. So it
Poor choice of words.
All right. So
Yeah.
but
I would think it would also be hard as an actor, because I think it's easy to exaggerate, right?
Well, dying is easy. Comedy is hard.
Those are your last words.
Those are my last words. Wow, you really picked a tall building to go down.
That's great.
So what does the book have to say about the death of the Don?
Okay, well,
the Don's dear
book,
death.
Alex, the book
Is different than the movie. The book is different than the movie. The book is different. The book is different. The book is different than the movie. Yeah.
So one difference is that Anthony is not in the garden. He doesn't have any of this interaction. So I think, like you pointed out last week, they did this impromptu, right?
Yeah.
The filming of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they hadn't planned on doing it.
Right.
So let's see. Puzo writes, page 407. Quite suddenly, so the Don is in the garden, quite suddenly, it felt as if the sun had come down very close to the Don's head. The air filled with dancing golden specks. Michael's oldest boy came running through the garden toward where the Don knelt, and the boy was enveloped by a yellow shield of blinding light. But the Don was not to be tricked. He was too old a hand. Death hid behind that flaming yellow shield, ready to pounce out on him, and the Don, with a wave of his hand, warned the boy away from his presence, just in time. The sledgehammer blow inside his chest made him choke for air. The Don pitched forward into the earth.
Goodbye, funny man.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Anthony's not there. And then in this, the Don sees death coming, hidden or disguised as light. Mm-hmm. And then I interpret this as Anthony gets close, and the Don doesn't want any harm to come to Anthony, so he waves Anthony away.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Don, with a wave of his hand, warned the boy away from his presence, just in time.
What does that mean? Just because otherwise he would have fallen over on him, or?
Well, I think this is kind of a superstitious religious thing. He believes death is about to take him, and he warns Anthony away because he doesn't want death to either take Anthony or take them both. That's my interpretation of this.
So I guess theoretically the Don in his death could have fallen over and crushed Anthony, and then death would have got a twofer.
Yeah, that too, or death, through some other way just would have taken Anthony.
Like a safe fell on him or something. There has to be some real world way that he would die.
Yeah.
It's not like a
maybe the Don probably waved him away from the spot where he was standing, where Anthony was standing, because he saw this speck up in the sky falling. Go to Godfather minute! Landed right there.
Damn podcast is like killing everybody. Anyway. While you were speaking and I was not listening, I looked up whether or not Mario Puzo, that he's describing the heart attack here, and it made me wonder if Mario Puzo had a heart attack by that point, so he was like putting it in from personal memory. But I couldn't find any information about it. But he ultimately does die of a heart attack in real life. And do you know what Puzo means in Italian?
Well, our Latin scholar Peter Carucci went through a bit of that. It can mean well. It could mean put. It can mean like a stench, a bad smell.
Well, let me correct. In the word puso, puso,
Yeah.
means heart.
Oh.
Isn't that weird?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Fascinating.
Puzo means heart. So just a sidetrack here for a second. I went to the drive-in this past weekend and to see the movie Jaws.
Oh, I thought you meant a drive-through, like a fast food thing.
Yeah, we went there to watch a movie they play while you're waiting for your... No, so we went to go see Jaws.
You were the guy holding up the line in front of us?
I wanted to see how it ended.
Anyway,
and
that's fun.
If you recall, part of the movie has to do with the mayor wants to open the beaches even though there's an emergency going on and so on. And I was wondering, like, did the people who organized the movie do that on purpose? Is this like a commentary on today's times that they're putting in a movie about?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like
about
the government not wanting to protect business over health.
Yeah.
And weirdly, do you know what the
the outcome is? Jaws comes and kills people.
No, do you know what the Italian word for Jaws is?
Puzo.
Fauci.
Get out of here.
It totally is.
Oh. Wow. Well, clarify that for people who may not know who that is.
Yeah, Dr. Fauci is currently the most, I guess the authority on the coronavirus policy, or at least I haven't seen him for a while, but he was for a while.
He's the head of infectious disease research and public policy in America.
Yeah. It's stuff like that makes me feel like we are in a simulation.
Yes. Jaws. Even his name tries to scare people back into self-quarantine. I think he's going to appear on his next press conference with an orange in his mouth.
Everybody be all scared. Like, it's a new trick.
or he's wearing a coronavirus mask, and then he removes it, and underneath it he's got an orange in his mouth.
Or that's on his next press conference, he'd be like, we found a new unprecedented way of stopping the virus. You simply put an orange in your mouth and you can't get in. From reporters,
Oh, and he's also and there's a secondary help. You can disinfect your house with this sprayer, and he pulls out the old school sprayer.
Oh, man.
Wow, I think you're right. It's all connected.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Puzo means heart.
And
Fauci means Jaws. Jaws was the threat no one believed in.
Yeah.
No one took seriously. Wow. Well, I got one more section from the book, Alex.
What else you got to
it's
tell me?
It's a little bit
there?
of follow-up, immediate follow-up after the Don's death that you don't see in the movie.
This minute does end literally with Anthony running in the house, so it really ends perfectly.
Yeah. And here we go. Puzo writes, this is Anthony. The boy raced away to call his father. But
he's not called Anthony in the book, right? They just called him.
That's correct. He just says the boy.
Yeah.
The boy raced away to call his father. Michael Corleone and some men at the mall gate ran to the garden and found the Don lying prone, clutching handfuls of earth. They lifted the Don up and carried him to the shade of his stone-flagged patio. Michael knelt beside his father, holding his hand, while the other men called for an ambulance and doctor. With a great effort, the Don opened his eyes.
Still alive.
Oh, he's still alive.
6 squirts, he's still alive.
Yeah. 300 parts per million, and he's still alive. ppm.
ppm.
With a great effort, the Don opened his eyes to see his son once more. The massive heart attack had turned his ruddy face almost blue. He was in extremis. He smelled the garden. The yellow shield of light smote his eyes, and he whispered, "Life is so beautiful."
Oh.
He was spared the sight of his women's tears, dying before they came back from church, dying before the ambulance arrived or the doctor. He died surrounded by men, holding the hand of the son he had most loved.
Ooh, he most loved him.
Wow. So that's,
life is
I
beautiful.
forgot how significant that epilogue to his death was.
Yeah.
He speaks, he's with Michael. He recognizes that he loved Michael the most.
Do you think that he should they have had him say life is beautiful?
I mean, it's kind of cliched, but was it cliched in 1968, 9, whenever this was written?
Yeah. Now people would think he was referring to the movie Life is Beautiful.
Yeah. Do you think if I were Puzo, I would have had him say, life is so beautiful, and I love you the most because you went to fight the people that bombed America on my birthday. Thank you.
Paul, I didn't know it was your birthday.
Michael!
Who's Fredo?
No, that was the Don.
Oh, that was...
Yeah. Screaming because he realizes he's losing Michael to the life that he did not want for him.
There wasn't enough time.
Yeah. You got anything else?
I tried to put some seasoning in your salad, but there wasn't enough time.
Oh man. I tried to be the sage and share my wisdom with you. There wasn't enough time. Any other salad jokes?
His life is beautiful. There was something else I was going to say about his last words or something like that. But
life is so beautiful. He was clutching handfuls of earth. He died among men.
Died among men. Oh yeah, he died. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I'm going to forget it later on when we talk about Beatles songs. But this would be like, I want to hold your hand.
Oh, life is so beautiful. And I love you the most. Well, Alex, this might be the last of our 5-star minutes because the Don is dead. Are you ready to rate it?
Well, we can still rate stuff 5 stars.
Wow. Without Brando? Come on.
Well,
give it your best shot.
I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised that some future minutes will continue to get 5s. What?
You're talking about in GF1?
That's what I was going to say. My last words would have been of, make sure your friends overestimate your kindness and your enemies underestimate your nerve.
Somebody, Tom, write that down. We're going to have to decipher that later.
I think he's delirious.
I think he wants us to make the deal with Barzani. Is that what that means? They all try to analyze it.
No.
Does that mean we bring Fredo back and don't step him over? And they think the Don's dead. He goes, no, that's not what I meant. Come on, I mean, overestimate your enemies' kindnesses.
That would be the worst thing is when you're dying and you just want to like let go and relax, and then you still have to keep telling everyone what they should be doing. You think someone else would be handling that by now when you're actually on your deathbed. Like, everything around here.
Even when I'm dying, I can't be careless.
What did I teach you, Michael? You said children cannot be careless, but men and women. No, what are you talking about?
Is that the universal death sound?
Yeah, and his tongue sticks out to the side.
Sounds like Lucy is dying. Hey, Lucy. And for my last words, are you going to announce they're your last words, Alex? And for my last words, watch out for the
Someone's going to come to you and present you with an award in honor of a radio inventor. At that meeting, you'll be assassinated.
Oh, and they think that him going is him just dying, his last dying sound. But he was really trying to say to warn them who it would be. Wow, he really had a feel for the way business would play out.
Yeah,
because that wouldn't be another
25 years.
Well, no, not that long.
Why?
Well, maybe, yeah.
Well, when does
GF3 start? 20 years from now?
I thought it was like at least in the 70s.
I think it's in the, oh yeah.
Well, you know what? We'll answer when we do GF3. All right, let's rate this sucker. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
You really had to think about it, huh?
I had to think about it, yeah.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Congratulations, Marlon Brando. You did it. You got through the movie. It took you 153 minutes. But now you're free.
And he won the Oscar And he won the Oscar with the fewest minutes. Does he still have that record?
I wonder.
Wasn't that, you brought that up years ago?
Fewest minutes, 153 minutes already.
Yeah, but he was only in like 9 of them or something.
Yeah, some very low number.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating when you look at those kind of statistics, because I remember we did that with Star Wars. Some crazy person actually went and said, how many minutes of screen time does Lando Calrissian and how many minutes of screen time does Han Solo have? And,
wow.
And they're all a lot lower than you would think.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Interesting. Yeah.
So I guess that'll wrap up this particular minute. Minute 153. Now from now on, the Don is semi-retired and now he is completely dead.
Sonny dead. The Turk dead. McCluskey dead. Don DeVito dead.
Fredo stepped over. Luca dead.
Paulie dead. That might be it, right?
Cannoli forgotten.
The gun left.
Kids backed out over.
Watched out for, right?
6 shots, still alive.
Are these hashtags that were coming up?
Hashtag
stickers?
still alive.
Hashtag still alive.
That maybe we'll do that for our bonus content. We'll come up with a hashtag for each minute.
Oh, okay.
All right then. So I don't know what until next week.
Until next time.
It's fun.
Blah, blah, blah.